a smoking gash in the wall. Titans had breached it, and the stench of death rises with the ash. From the pall, a figure drags itself forward. Sota, covered in soot and dried blood, his eyes hollow. The sentries at the base freeze. The mission was clear. No one was expected to return. In the command room, officers exchange dark glances. Their whispers sound more like panic than relief. 2 weeks before this, Sota knelt at a makeshift shrine. His mother and his sister, swallowed by the last breach. Commander Voss asked for volunteers to hold the wall, a mission everyone knew was a death sentence. Sota stepped forward without hesitation.
I can meet them again. This is the fastest way.
40 men marched toward the breach. No reinforcements, no return. They walked with the silence of the condemned. Now, Sota walks back alone, ash falling like snow on the desolate wasteland. He is the one who wasn't supposed to survive. The officers know this, and in their whispers, a new fear takes root. What did he see out there? The squad reached the breach at dusk. The wall lay shattered, a wound in the stone, and beyond it the ground trembled under the advance of Titans.
Can you see me from there? It won't be long now. I'll bring their roars as an offering.
The order came to charge. Sota launched himself into the carnage, his body moving like it belonged to someone else. But the Titans were an endless tide. Comrades fell beside him, their cries swallowed by the chaos. Desperate hands reached for rescue that would never come. Screams that faded into the dust. A collapsing wall section buried Sota. Concrete pinned him, and the light narrowed to a thin slit. Through the dust and his dimming vision, he glimpsed them. 2 engineers not running, but standing at the wall mechanism. They pulled the levers. The gears engaged with a sound that was wrong, the breach tearing wider deliberately.
They're opening it. It was never a defense.
The darkness swallowed him, but the image of those 2 figures remained burned into his fading sight. Silence. Sota's eyes opened to a field of the dead. The Titans had moved on, leaving only ruin and ash.
I am still breathing. Why? I was supposed to join them.
He dug himself out of the rubble, then stood on shaking legs. The long walk back was a blur of thirst and the hollow ache where grief should have been. At the base, guards pulled him inside. Their faces were pale, not with relief, but with the shock of seeing a ghost.
You saw engineers at the wall. Sota, you'd lost a lot of blood. Your mind invented explanations to fill the gaps.
I know what I saw, Commander. The breach was already open. They pulled levers, and the wall tore wider.
Enough. You are a hero, Sota. Don't tarnish your comrade's sacrifice with paranoid delusions.
Within days, they dressed him in a clean uniform and paraded him before cheering crowds, the sole survivor, a miracle. But behind closed doors, they handed him a desk, a mountain of paperwork, and a firm directive. Stop asking questions.
They want me to forget. But I can't. Something is rotting inside these walls, and I am the only one who saw it.
Days blurred into weeks. Sota shuffled reports that meant nothing, but the image of those engineers never loosened its grip. He tried the records office. The clerk barely glanced up, muttered about clearance levels, and turned away. Another door slammed shut. That night, he memorized the guard rotations and slipped into the archives. The corridors were silent but heavy with the feeling of being watched. In a dusty cabinet, he found a report stamped Breach Incident, Mechanical Failure Assessment. Its timeline didn't match the official story. The report read, Mechanism activation logged at 14:30, breach fully open by 14:35, but the Titans didn't arrive until 15 o'clock. A deliberate gap.
This proves it. The wall was opened on purpose, an hour before the attack. They sent us to die for a staged breach.
A flashlight beam cut through the dark. An officer stood at the door. His words were calm. Return to your quarters. But the threat beneath them was absolute. The next morning, the office felt different. Colleagues avoided his eyes. The walls had ears, and Sota knew he was now a prisoner in plain sight.
They're on to me. I can't stop now. The report isn't enough. I need a live witness, someone who pulled those levers. He remembered the engineer with trembling hands, the one who hesitated. If he's still alive, he's carrying the guilt, and I'll find him.
Sota searched personnel records in secret and found a name, Kai, an engineer placed on indefinite leave. His address led to a crumbling district. The door was answered by a man who looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. Dark circles, rumpled clothes, a bottle clutched in shaking fingers.
Who the hell are you? What do you want?
My name is Sota. I was at the breach. I saw you and another engineer at the wall mechanism.
You are lying. There's nothing to discuss. Get out of here before someone sees you.
Sota blocked the door with his boot. He leaned in, voice low. I know you are scared, but 40 men are dead because of what you did.
I don't know what you're talking about. Leave.
The door slammed shut. Through the grimy window, Sota saw Kai slump against the wall, head in his hands, a man reduced by guilt.
He's terrified of something worse than me. But he knows. I'll come back.
Sota left a scrap of paper under the door. I'll be at the East Market tomorrow at dusk. The truth can't stay buried. Then he walked away, knowing the enemy was watching both of them. Dusk bled into night at the East Market. Sota waited until the last stall folded, but Kai never appeared. The engineer's terror had won. He returned to the crumbling apartment. The door hung open now, and a low, broken sobbing spilled into the corridor. Kai sat on the floor, surrounded by shattered glass. He didn't look up, just kept drinking, his whole body shaking.
You don't give up. Why? There's no point. We're all dead already.
Then die with a clear conscience. 40 men are rotting in the dirt because of a lie. Tell me what happened. Who ordered it?
It was a sealed order. A drill, they said. Open the mechanism. Test the response. But when the wall slid back, the Titans were already advancing. I tried to stop it. The other engineer said the order came directly from the commander's office. Follow protocol or be executed.
Who in the commander's office? A name. Kai.
I don't know. I never saw a signature. Just the seal. They'll kill me if I say another word. Please, go.
Sota's heart pounded. The threads all led to Voss, but a frightened drunk's confession was just noise without the orders themselves. From inside his coat, Sota produced the crumpled report and held it in front of Kai's tear-streaked face.
Read the timestamp. The wall was opened an hour before the Titans came. Tell me that was a drill.
Where did you? They'll kill me for this. This is proof. We murdered them. Commander Voss. The order had a seal. A staged breach to scare the region into expanding the core.
He sent us to die, so no witnesses would remain. I was supposed to rot with the others.
Kai's confession landed like a hammer. The suicide squad wasn't a defense. It was the final piece of a cover-up.
Now you know. If you are smart, you'll vanish. Voss will silence anyone who threatens this.
I am a loose end. They've been trying to bury me in that office, but they'll do worse now.
Sota's hands trembled, but his voice came out steady. Retreat was never an option. The truth would be his weapon.
I am not running. 40 men trusted me to survive. I'll make their deaths mean something.
Sota stepped back into the base like a man walking into a cage. Every corridor felt narrower, every shadow deeper.
They're all watching. They know I met with Kai. It's only a matter of time before they act.
Within the hour, an officer summoned him to Commander Voss's office. The grandeur of the room felt like a trap.
Sota, sit. I hear you've been chasing ghosts, asking about engineers and sealed orders. That's a dangerous habit.
I am only trying to understand what happened, Commander. My squad deserves the truth.
Your squad died heroes. Don't dishonor their memory with wild paranoia. Stop digging, or you'll force my hand in ways you won't like.
Voss smiled like a man who had already won. The threat was a guillotine blade, suspended by a single thread.
He knows I have the report. If I say another word, I am a dead man. But if I stay silent, I am just waiting for the knife.
The hallways closed in. Sota felt eyes on his back with every step. The clock was ticking, and the core had made him a prisoner in plain sight.
I have to act now. Gather proof. Find a way to expose it all, before they make me another forgotten casualty.
That night, Sota slipped through the base's hidden gaps and found Kai in a rain-soaked alley, trembling against the cold brick.
You are insane. They've got eyes everywhere. If they find me with you,
Then give me a reason to make it count. Write a confession. Every detail. The order, the seal, Voss's name.
I'll be dead the moment I put that on paper.
You are already dead in every way that matters. This is your one chance to make it mean something.
Kay's resistance crumbled. He took the pen with shaking fingers and began to write, each line drawn from a well of guilt. The scrawled words laid it bare: a sealed order, Commander Voss; a staged breach; a signed admission of mass murder.
There's one more thing. A detonator cap I spotted near the mechanism. If we retrieve it, we link the hardware to the order.
Engineering storage. I can get you in during the night shift. It's guarded, but the codes haven't changed.
The pact was sealed in rain and shadow. Sota now had a confession and a path to physical proof, but the clock was still ticking. The next morning, a sealed dispatch waited on Sota's desk. The official stamp felt heavier than a gravestone. The dispatch read, "Reconnaissance mission to Sector 7. Assigned. Sota, Private Kell, Private Messer. Departure in 72 hours.
Sector 7 is a kill zone. Voss isn't even pretending anymore. This is my execution.
3 days. The noose was tightening. He had 72 hours to gather the final piece and expose the truth.
No more waiting. I need that detonator tonight. Kai has to get me into storage.
He hid Kai's written confession inside the lining of his uniform, feeling its weight like a promise. He moved through the base with a purpose that felt foreign. Not the shuffle of a survivor, but the stride of a hunter.
Kai is the key. Once I have the detonator, the physical evidence will leave no room for lies.
That evening, Sota slipped a meeting place, an hour under Kai's door. The reply came as a single chalk mark on a wall, understood. He was a soldier who had walked out of a massacre. Now he would face his own command to unearth the truth they tried to bury. At midnight, the engineering storage loomed like a tomb. Kai met Sota at the side door, his hands trembling on the lock.
This is madness. If we're caught here, it's treason. We'll be shot on sight.
Then don't get caught. Where would they keep a spent detonator cap from the wall mechanism?
Kai pointed to a locked cabinet marked misfired ordnance. Inside, a small cylinder with a serial number that would damn Voss.
This matches the batch number in Kai's confession. Together, they're a death warrant for anyone who signed off on that operation.
A clatter echoed from the corridor. Boots. Multiple. The patrol had changed its route. Kai's face drained of color.
Go. Now. I'll buy you time. Get out of here and don't look back.
Sota didn't hesitate. He ran, the detonator cold against his palm as Kai hurled a pile of metal scrap into the guard's path.
They know now. I am a dead man, the moment they catch me, but I have everything I need.
The alarm bell shrieked across the base. Voss would know within minutes. The hunt had begun. Sota vanished into the city's sewers and abandoned warehouses, where even the military police didn't linger after dark. From a snatched newspaper and hushed street talk, he learned a state funeral for the 40 fallen would be held in 2 days with full military honors and press coverage.
The funeral. It's the perfect stage. All the families, the cameras, the world watching. If I can get inside, they can't silence me.
But the ceremony would be a fortress. Guards, checkpoints, Voss himself presiding. A single misstep meant death. In the flicker of a candle, Sota laid out the confession and the detonator. They were a declaration of war against the core.
I'll need a maintenance uniform to blend in. Kai had one. I'll enter before the ceremony and wait for the eulogy. Then I'll step forward. Kai bought me this chance with his life. I won't waste it. The 40 will be honored with the truth, not lies.
He made a second copy of every document, sealing them in a waterproof pouch hidden beneath the floorboards. If he failed, the truth would survive.
I'll start with their names. All 40. Then the report. Then the detonator. Let the world see Voss's seal on the order.
The morning of the funeral dawned gray and cold. Crowds gathered at the memorial hall, while Sota slipped through the back alleys, heart pounding. In the shadow of the memorial hall, Sota pulled on the grease-stained maintenance uniform Kai had left in a dead drop the night before.
Kai came through one last time. This uniform is my armor. The truth is my weapon.
He slipped into the flow of workers at the service entrance, head down, the forged pass warm against his thigh. A military police officer blocked his path, scanning the crowd. His eyes lingered on Sota's face. Sota's heart hammered, but his voice stayed flat. "Generator inspection, sir. We've had flickers in the east wing." A grunt, a wave of the hand. He was through. The doors swallowed him into the bowels of the hall. He navigated the service corridors by memory from the schematics Kai had drawn, until he found a janitor's closet with a slatted view. Through the slats, the 40 flag-draped coffins gleamed under candlelight. Families wept in the front rows.
I know your names. All 40. You won't be remembered for a lie.
The organ began to play. Voss would take the podium soon. Sota's trembling hands steadied around the evidence. The central hall filled to suffocation. Black-clad families sobbed as ushers guided them to their seats before the 40 coffins. An elderly mother clutched a photograph of a boy too young to die, her face a mask of grief.
They're all here. Every family told their son died a hero.
Commander Voss ascended the podium. The hall fell into a heavy silence.
We gather today to honor the 40 who gave their lives defending humanity.
Inside the closet, Sota's knuckles whitened around the evidence bag. Voss's words were poison.
Their noble sacrifice will not be forgotten. They are the wall that guards us.
Noble sacrifice? You butchered them to expand your power.
On the stage, two officers exchanged uneasy glances. Something in the air felt wrong. Sota's hands settled on the latch. The time was almost here. His heart beat in his throat. The closet door burst open. Sota strode into the aisle, hood thrown back, eyes burning through the dim light.
These 40 men were not heroes. They were murdered. Victims of a staged breach ordered by Commander Voss. Listen to the words of the engineer who pulled the lever. A sealed order from the commander's office. Open the mechanism. Let the Titans in.
He lifted the detonator cap high, its serial number catching the candlelight. The hardware matched the order.
This man is deranged. Seize him immediately.
You sent us to die, so no witnesses would survive. But I lived, and I brought the proof.
The press cameras zoomed in, red record lights blazing. The broadcast was live, the whole region watching. Gasps and cries erupted from the families. A mother screamed her son's name, the sound piercing the hall.
Take him down, now.
But Sota stood rooted among the coffins, the evidence held high like a torch in the chaos. The guards faltered. One lowered his rifle. A young officer shoved past them and stood between Sota and the advancing squad.
These families deserve the truth. Their sons were murdered.
I command you to seize that traitor, now.
But the cameras were already broadcasting. Red record lights flashed in the corner of the hall. A woman in the front row collapsed, clutching her son's photograph. Others rose, shouting at Voss. More guards lowered their weapons. The chain of command was crumbling.
I survived to speak for the 40. Their deaths will not be a lie.
Outside, crowds had gathered, straining to hear the live broadcast. The truth was spreading like fire.
This is treason. You'll hang for this.
The hall was a storm of grief and fury, and at its center, Sota held the proof high, unshakable. The main doors burst inward. Military police in dark uniforms flooded the hall, their commander raising a warrant.
This is an outrage. I won't be treated like a criminal.
The lead officer ignored him. Sota stepped forward and placed the detonator and confession into waiting hands.
Every piece is accounted for. Their names, the order, the hardware. Justice for the 40.
From the stunned crowd, a figure pushed forward. Kai, gaunt but standing tall, voice trembling.
I am the engineer who followed the order. Everything he said is true. I'll testify to every word.
The police commander nodded. Handcuffs clicked around Voss's wrists as flashbulbs painted the scene.
You'll all pay for this. I was acting for the Corps.
Kai was taken gently by the arm, led away not as a prisoner, but as a witness willing to unburden himself. In the center of the storm, Sota finally lowered the evidence. The 40 coffins seemed to gleam a little brighter. Within hours, the scandal headlines swept the region. Commander arrested at funeral, suicide squad was a lie. Printing presses ran through the night, churning out the story. The image of Sota holding the detonator was on every front page. Sota spent the night in a guarded room, not as a prisoner, but as a witness too valuable to lose.
It's done. The truth is out. They can't bury it now.
By morning, the military prosecutor had cleared him of any wrongdoing. His testimony was the bedrock of the case, but with the clearance came a cold envelope, his discharge papers. The Corps had no place for a soldier who had exposed its rot.
So, that's it. I am no longer a soldier.
He signed without hesitation. The uniform that once felt like a shroud now felt like a relic. As he handed it over, the clerk behind the counter avoided his eyes. Some couldn't look at him. Others couldn't look away. Outside, the sun was rising. The public debate roared about the Corps, about the Corps, about the wall. But Sota walked free, under a sky that no longer pressed down. A week later, at dusk, Sota walked through rows of white crosses. The cemetery was silent, save for the wind.
I told them everything. The world knows you were betrayed. Your names are finally clean.
He knelt and placed the detonator cap on the central memorial, the last piece of evidence, now a relic of the truth.
I carried this for you. Now, it rests where it belongs.
He stood slowly, his uniform long gone, but his back straight as a soldier's.
40 men. I won't forget a single face.
Then Sota raised his hand in a final salute. Steady, unhurried, a promise kept. He held it until his arm ached, then lowered it gently, the silence accepting the gesture. Turning away, he left the detonator gleaming among the flowers and walked back toward the living world.
Goodbye, brothers. I'll carry your truth wherever I go.
At the quartermaster's counter, Sota laid his folded uniform, the patches still gray with ash from the breach. The clerk behind the counter, her eyes red from the broadcast, whispered that what he had done was braver than any battle.
It wasn't courage, it was a debt.
She didn't give him a receipt. Instead, she stood at attention, a civilian's salute.
I never expected that from anyone here.
He walked the main corridor toward the gate, passing soldiers who turned their faces to the wall.
They're still afraid of the truth, but I am not afraid anymore.
At the gate, the guards didn't check his papers. They just stepped aside. He crossed the threshold, and the morning sun struck his face, warm and unrestrained. The gate slammed shut behind him. He didn't look back. The city streets hummed with ordinary life, but Sota felt a quiet he hadn't known in years. A newsboy shouted from a corner, "Inquiry widens. Voss names accomplices." The headline was bold, the story still unfolding.
The truth is building something new.
He walked until the Great Wall loomed, its scarred surface rebuilt but no longer looming like a prison.
This was the gate they opened. Now it's sealed, but the truth got out.
He lowered his hood, letting the wind touch his face. The soot and blood were gone, but the memory remained.
I am still here. That's enough.
He breathed deep. The air tasted of nothing but morning. The city moved around him, unaware of the man who had torn the veil from the Corps, and for the first time he looked forward, not back. The city fell away behind him as he climbed a low hill at the edge of the basin. At the summit, he stopped. The world opened before him in a wash of gold and green.
This is the dawn my squad never saw. but I'll see enough for all of them.
He stood there, a lone figure against the vast sky, and for once, the silence felt like peace. Below, the wall snaked across the land, no longer a terror, just a scar. The first rays stretched across his face, wiping away the shadows of the past. He took a breath, not of survival, but of beginning.
40 names. 40 stars. They're here with me.
The land stretched endlessly, and the sun climbed higher, promising warmth. Sota, the man who wasn't supposed to survive, turned his face to the sun and walked into the light.